The first thing I want to talk about is recruiting. And the class of 2024 is, depending on what publication you are reading, we are between the top 10, top 15-ish. When all things are said and done, we're probably going to be the top 10 recruiting class in the class of 2024. That's going to be important because we're going to talk later about South Carolina's schedule. As you know, the SEC has went to just a 16-team league. They're not having no more divisions, so they're just going with just being one big old conference. I'm gonna talk why I think that is promising, especially for South Carolina coming forward. But let's talk about recruiting. We got some guys that we just been reaching out to, and as the 2024 class is being locked down, the 2025 class is steadily being molded. Like I told y'all, if y'all follow my channel, y'all already know what I already said. What we do last year, the year before, is going to build momentum for 2024, 2025, 2026. Y'all already saw what happened in 2024, where our recruiting class jumped from the top 25 to this year top 10. And can we make a push between now and December where we can become a top 8, top 5 recruiting class? Really depends on how we start in 2024. But the momentum is great. And the one thing I love about Shane Beamer that he's doing right now is that he is getting hometown talent. One kid that we're getting in particular is A.J. Brand. He is a prospect out of Columbia, South Carolina, preferably Irmo High School. He's a class of 2025, and South Carolina is on him heavy. He's getting a bunch of low major offers, with South Carolina being the high major that really wants him. If you look at his highlights, here's what I noticed. One, he has a good arm, throws the ball off the back of his foot a lot. He needs to move outside of the pocket in order to throw a pretty decent ball. Every highlight that I saw, I haven't seen his full game, so I'm only looking at highlights. The fact that he'll drop back and then he don't see nothing happening. He'll roll maybe to the right, maybe to the left, and then he'll throw off his back foot to gain the throw. But he does look pretty good when he does it as well. It's unorthodox, especially when you're jumping from high school to collegiate. You definitely need to throw within the pocket and not be so eager to run outside the pocket. He needs to work on his throwing mechanics. Like I said before, he throws a lot off his back foot, or he throws across his body when he instead of just needs to plant his feet and just throw the ball. I'm not a quarterback per se, but I know that when mechanics are often looked good or bad in high school, you definitely do not understand that it is a gap level. If you're athletic, if you get the ball over there, got a really fast receiver, the mechanics don't necessarily mean a whole lot. You can have bad mechanics, but still achieve greatness. But we'll talk about some positive things that I saw right now. He has good potential. I think he's 6'3", 6'2". Has a strong arm. Even though he throws off his back foot, he does deliver the rock, and it does get thrown properly. So I'm looking to see if you clean up his mechanics a little bit. I think that this kid, A.J. Brand, could definitely be a player when it comes to South Carolina. I think Lenoris Sellers is the quarterback of the future for South Carolina. So when you're bringing in any other quarterback, you're building depth, because you don't know what can happen with quarterbacks. So you definitely want to keep that depth going, and also competition. You never know if things don't work out, somebody transfer and next man opportunity, and can make plays down the field. Most of the throws that I saw from this young man, again, it's a highlight tape, was he's throwing the ball down the field, doing it great, dunking, diamond, giving them some very good highlights. So I'm looking to see this young man, even though this is the highest offer he's getting thus far by the University of South Carolina, I do think that he will get more and more offers. Again, he's going into his junior year, so he got a year and a half before ultimately next December, no, about a year, about a year and a half. This is June. He has a year and a half in order for him to make his final decision whether or not he is coming to play for South Carolina. So that story will be developing. Look for that. This is what A.J. Brand said about the program. It's this quote. It says, the recruiting process has been crazy. Brand said this in an interview with the Big Spur. South Carolina has been on me heavy. Charlotte, South Carolina State, it has been just a bunch of schools that have contacted me and have reached out to. Would not be mad if AJ Brand ends up at South Carolina State. That's in Orangeburg. But I do think if the young man wants to play at the highest level possible, South Carolina's it. So you definitely want to make that happen. AJ Brand helped Irmo High School last year go 8-4, reach the second round of the playoffs before they lost to James Island in the second round of the playoffs.